Let them. What an amazing idea. I could not believe how different I felt. I started saying let them anytime I felt stressed, tense, or frustrated. And funny, I realized it was almost always regarding other people. Let my family be late to absolutely everything we go to. Let Grandma read the news out loud. Did you hear about this? Let people hate the photo I just posted online. Let Oakley be mad that I'm not letting him stay out late tonight. Let them leave dishes in the sink. Let them do construction during Monday morning commute. Let my relatives be judgmental of my career. Let my mother in law disagree with my parenting. Let them be sold out of bagels at the bakery. Let the neighbor's dog bark all day. Two simple words. Let them changed everything. It was as if I didn't care and was weirdly above it all. The things that used to bother me just didn't. The people who used to annoy me just didn't. That tight grip that I had on life started to loosen up. Situations at work that would stress me out or cause me to go home and complain to my family just rolled off my back. Brain space that was once overflowing with dumb worries, annoyances, and drama was now available for more important things. The more I said let them, the more I realized that a lot of what I worried about wasn't worth my time, nor did it deserve my attention. And not everyone was worth my energy. It was liberating. The more I said let them, the more time I had for myself. Time to think, time to breathe, time to have fun, time to spend on what mattered to me, time to take care of myself. I felt at ease, happy, and centered. The impact was undeniable. Even Chris noticed, you seem different. And the fact is, I felt different. And I'm not the only one who felt different because every single time I shared these two words, let them, the impact was immediate. For example, one of the first videos I posted online about these two words said, if your friends are not inviting you out to brunch this weekend, let them. If the person you're really attracted to is not interested in a commitment, let them. If your kids do not want to get up and go to that thing with you this week, let them. So much time and energy is wasted on forcing other people to match our expectations. And the truth is, if somebody else, a person you're dating, a business partner, a family member, if they're not showing up how you need them to show up, do not try to force them to change. Let them be themselves because they are revealing to you who they are to you. Just let them. And then you get to choose what you do next. That's all I said, and you got it immediately. Within 24 hours, more than 15 million people had seen it. Within a week, 60 million. And there were tens of thousands of comments on the video. News outlets started writing articles about the theory and how effective it is. People around the world started flooding my DMs and inbox with questions, stories, and examples of how they had started using the theory. Psychologists and therapists were writing blog posts about it. I was so blown away by the immediate response to this video and what I was experiencing in my own life that I recorded a podcast episode about the theory and my experience using it. That episode took a life of its own. It was shared so many times. Apple named it the sixth most shared podcast episode of the year globally. That was just the beginning. Because then the let them tattoos started rolling in. Let them is by far the most powerful thing I've ever discovered. The fact that people around the world were getting the let them permanently inked on their bodies is honestly what inspired me to write this book. I had to understand why these two words had such an immediate, profound, and universal impact on so many people. Researching the theory. I spent the last 2 years researching the let them theory, why it works, and how you can use it to transform your life and improve your relationships with other people. In writing this book, I've spoken to many of the world's leading experts in psychology, neuroscience, behavioral science, relationships, stress, and happiness. You'll meet them as you read the book. And the research will help you apply the theory in countless situations in your life. As you'll soon see, the science is clear. This thing works, and it works really well. But this book isn't just about introducing you to the let them theory. It's about a fundamental law of human nature. All human beings have a hardwired need for control. We all have an innate desire to control everything about our lives, our time, our thoughts, our actions, our environments, our plans, our future, our decisions, and our surroundings. Feeling in control makes you feel comfortable and safe. So naturally, you try to control everyone and everything around you, oftentimes without even realizing it. But the fact is, there is one thing you will never be able to control, no matter how hard you try. You will never be able to control or change another person. The only person you are in control of is you, your thoughts, your actions, your feelings. For too long, you've been working against this fundamental law of human nature. You've been fighting to change people, battling to control situations, worrying about what people say, think, or do. And in doing so, you've created unnecessary stress, tension, and friction for yourself and in your relationships. I did too. The let them theory has transformed my entire approach to life and how I deal with other people. Instead of resisting the natural flow of human nature, I learned to embrace it. Instead of wasting my energy on something I can't control, what others say, think, and do, I pour my energy in what I can control, me. The result? I gained more control over my own life than I have ever had before. It was freeing. I stopped making other people the problem, and in doing so, my relationships improved in ways I never thought possible. It was like unlocking a door that had been sealed shut for years, and behind it, a life where I'm no longer weighed down by the need to manage other people. In the coming pages, you'll learn about all the theories. Apologize. In the coming pages, you'll learn all about the theory, the easiest way to start using it, and how awesome it feels when you do. You'll also learn about a surprising discovery I made early in our research. The let them theory isn't just let them. Yes, it begins with these two words, but that's not the whole story. Let them is just the first half of the equation. There is a second, even more crucial step to this theory. Let me. In the next chapter, we'll unpack both let them and let me, and explore the science and psychology behind each of the two steps. Then you'll learn about the eight core areas of your life where the theory will have the biggest positive impact. We'll talk about your relationships, career, emotions, opinions, stress, love life, struggles, chronic comparison, friendship, and most importantly, your relationship with yourself. Over and over, you'll learn how you've been trying to control the wrong things unknowingly made other people a problem. Apologize. Over and over, you'll learn how you've been trying to control the wrong things and unknowingly made other people a problem. The truth is, other people should be one of the greatest sources of happiness, support, and love in your life. But they can't be if you keep trying to control what they feel, say, and do. That ends with this book. Master the let them theory, and you'll stop exhausting yourself trying to control the uncontrollable. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about redesigning how you live your entire life. I can't wait for you to discover the space and freedom to experience your life the way you've always wanted, on your terms. Let's begin. Chapter 2, Getting Started. Let them plus let me. Not too long after I discovered the let them theory, I was sitting on my couch scrolling through social media when I saw a photo of an old friend of mine. She looked fantastic. I glanced down to read the caption where she was describing an amazing weekend she just had with her friends, and I could tell she meant it. As I stared at the photo, I admired how tan, happy, relaxed, and refreshed she looked. And I found myself thinking, wow, I could really use a weekend like that. Hell, I could use a spray tan. I started swiping through the carousel of photos and realized I was seeing photo after photo that showed an epic girls' weekend away. Brunch. dancing, shopping, laughter, swimming, cocktails. Then I took my thumb and my pointer finger and pinched so I could zoom in for a closer look at the group shot, only to realize that I knew every single one of the women smiling back at me on my screen. My heart sank. My friends had all gone away together. You know that awful feeling in your stomach? The one that hits you when you realize you've been left out? It's like a punch. You try to brush it off, telling yourself it's not a big deal, but the hurt is real. I should have put my phone down, but I didn't. I looked at those photos one by one, seeing a girl's trip through the eyes of the very same woman who I raised my kids with in our small suburban town. I tried not to let it bother me, but it did. My mind started filling in all the details. I imagined how much fun they were having and how close they had become. I had known these women for years. We bonded over barbecues, carpools, soccer games, date nights with our spouses, and hard conversations about parenthood. So, naturally, I started to spiral. I'm talking full stalker mode. I sat there on that same spot on the couch and felt it meld to my back as I poured over each and every one of their accounts. 5 minutes before, I had been perfectly fine. But now, well, now, I found myself feeling the familiar swirl of emotions taking over: rejection, insecurity, confusion. When did they plan this? Why was I not included? Why am I never invited anywhere? When was the last time I went away with my friends? As I kept on scrolling through their photos, turning those questions over and over in my head, Chris walked into the room, took one look at me, and said, "What's wrong?" I sighed and told him the truth. I just found out a bunch of my girlfriends went away for the weekend on a really fun trip. I obviously wasn't invited. That sucks, he said. Maybe I did something wrong. I said, maybe they're mad at me. He crossed his arms and asked me, why do you care so much? I looked at him. It's not like you're close friends with them anymore, Mel. Mm, he was right. I knew he was, but I still felt this urge to reach out and smooth things over. I'm sure you've experienced this before. You find out that you weren't included in something, and all you want is some kind of reassurance, that there wasn't something you had done. Because honestly, I didn't know. And if you are anything like me, when it happens, you immediately assume that you have done something wrong. As I sat there on the couch, racking my brain for any evidence as to why I wasn't included, I couldn't think of anything. And that made me even more nervous. I mean, sure, we had known each other for years. We had gone through early motherhood together. We had lived a lot of life together. And I really liked everyone who was on that trip. But at the same time, I hadn't really spent time with them as a group in a long time. A long, long time. I had seen them around town at large gatherings, but I hadn't invested in those individual friendships, and I hadn't planned anything fun or reached out to them recently either. Intellectually, I knew this, but emotionally, I was devastated. I felt like I was back in middle school again, the one left out of the sleepover, the one who didn't make the team, or who wasn't part of the inside joke. Putting the theory into practice, I felt myself wanting to reach out to them and fix it. Call, text, anything to make the anxiety go away. That's when those two words came in and saved me from myself. Let them. The old me would have obsessed over this for days, for weeks, really. My emotions would have gotten the best of me. I would have tried to pretend it didn't bother me. I would have tried to convince myself that I didn't care. I would have tried to rationalize it over and over in my mind. I would have turned my friends into villains to make me feel better. All of which would have made me feel worse and withdraw even more from these women who I genuinely liked. But that didn't happen. It bothered me for about 10 minutes. As soon as I said let them, I felt a little better. The second time I said it, I felt a little better. The third, fourth, fifth, 16th time, 30th time I said it, I felt a little better. I'll be honest with you. In these types of painful situations, you're going to have to keep saying let them over and over because when something hurts, the hurt doesn't just disappear, it rises up again and again. So don't be surprised when you find yourself having to repeat let them again and again. Let them go on the trip. Let them take the weekend together. Let them have their fun without you. At first, those words felt like a rejection, like I was giving in. But then I realized something important. Let them wasn't about giving in. It was about releasing myself from the control I never had in the first place. Because here's the truth. No matter how much I tried to analyze the situation or how many ways I could try to control it or fix it, nothing I did would change what had happened. Their choice to go away didn't have to make me feel bad, but my attempts to control the situation were making me feel horrible. Let them. And just like that, the knot in my chest began to loosen. The pressure to fix the situation faded. And I realized something that changed everything. Their weekend away had nothing to do with me. It wasn't personal. They weren't plotting against me. They weren't making a statement about my worth. Even if they were, let them.